It's, Friday night, so
Yep.
good. Good.
Morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Morning.
What's up?
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking.
I'm here. How are you?
We are, I think we're
Oh,
at the
time
time here.
flies when you're having fun.
All right. Who wants to give us a prayer today?
Be glad.
All right.
Our dear most gracious Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for the start of this week. We want to thank you for the many blessings that you've given us. As always, we want to thank you first and foremost for your Son, Jesus Christ. Lord, I pray for this Commissioner Court, that you give wisdom and insight as they manage the affairs, the governance, and the budget for the people of Eastland County, that you help them to represent them in a manner that should be pleasing to you and glorify you first and foremost. I pray that you watch over us and be with our country, that you humble us, and that you cause a great revival to start in this country and go across the world in many places that are in stress. And we just ask for your guidance and direction. For in Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Would you join me in the pledge? I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning, everyone. We're in a regularly scheduled Eastland County Commission Court meeting. It's just after 9 o'clock, and it is 9th of May, and all commissioners and county judges are present, so we do have a quorum. Also at the table this morning are county clerk and county auditor. First item up is to read and sign the minutes, and I have one set of minutes here from April the 25th at 9 o'clock. Anyone have any questions or comments, changes to be made to that set of minutes? Hearing none, then can we have a motion then to accept the minutes as presented?
Motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. All right, item number 2 is discuss, consider department head pre-budget discussion related to 2022 estimated property tax values and preliminary plans for the 2023 budget. Here we go. The budget season is officially beginning. We'll have the calendars out real soon. And I'll just start this off by saying I would like to see us be able to do a 5% increase on salaries. We did not give an increase in salaries last year. We did not give an increase in salaries the year before. I don't remember 3 years ago if we did any kind of an increase or if it was a 3. It's been a while since we've done an increase.
We did an increase 3 years ago, I think.
Just a 3% increase, I think.
Yeah.
3%. No, I'm getting a lot of no's and a few yeses. I actually don't remember.
It's been at least 3
I
years.
know it's been at least
3 years.
I know it's been 2 years for sure because we didn't do one in 21 or 20.
This will make the third year.
Okay. And so I'd like to do a little bit of a catch up here. If we can hold off on buying anything expensive that's not paid for out of ARPA funds, in other words, not buying any equipment, not buying any additional items that aren't just bottom line necessary, I think we can financially do an increase in the salaries. We'll try. I'm not saying it can be done, but I'm saying I'd sure like to see that get done. This is my last budget put together, of course, and I would like for us to be able to do that and maybe give a little relief to the people that work for us that are doing such a good job. With that, Ms. Key, you brought a package here.
Yes, you all have the proposed budget calendar I had my first truth and training session last week. One thing I do know that may need to be changed is on August 8th. The date the rate election, voter approval rate election must be ordered is probably going to change. I need to count actual days on the calendar. But as far as I know right now, these dates should be pretty good. And you also have the Eastland County Appraisal District estimated 2022 preliminary taxable value. That value from Randy Clark is $1,915,513,991. This is an increase from the 2021 estimated values, same time last year. It's a $309,428,299 value increase. And if I take the current tax rate, it would be a $1,420,275 increase at 100% collection rate. Now, we all know if this is not new value, our no new revenue rate is going to go down. So we won't be able to keep the current tax rate. But that's just to give you some preliminary numbers to look at.
And then we've got some department heads here as well. We'd like to have your input today since this is our pre-budget discussion. So anybody want to start that off, or? Oh, come on. Don't be shy. What you might expect, I mean, things that are happening in your office that might affect the budget. I know a lot of it's tied into what we're going to try to talk about, or what we will talk about and try to get done with the new software paid for by ARPA funds, but it's just, you know, what's going on in the SO or grocery costs up or down or anything like that. What's going on in the district clerk's office, county clerk's office. More elections, less elections. Kind of give us an overall view of what is happening in your offices so we can kind of start planning for this before we get into the budget process, which happens next month, that full week. Think about it.
The increases in our offices, I mean, obviously, we're trying to catch up from COVID, so like the jury selection, juries, an influx of court days and cases in which our case amounts have gone up, you know, and fees, but I don't know what all you're looking for and asking about.
Oh, just whatever comes to your mind, it would be useful for us to kind of start this pre-planning. I know the DA's office kind of ties into so many things with the criminal court revenue as it comes in.
Civil, I mean, it's affected civil too with divorces and the CPS cases and, you know, everything like that in our caseload, so.
Yep.
Judge, I'll give you a heads up, but this should not affect the general budget. I've been doing some number crunching on what assistant district attorneys are making. Probably going to be making a request to the court for an increase for my 2 lead prosecutors. We took a trip to look at technology and our size are having to pay approximately what we're paying our district attorneys. We're straight out lawsuit people and have some jeopardy of potentially losing one, maybe even both of my lead prosecutors. And as Tessa said, with the COVID situation somewhat being over, not over by any stretch of the imagination, but the court's back open. Our dockets are just crazy. As the court's aware, we hold double dockets on Tuesday and Thursday here in this court, contemplating expanding that and keep up with the numbers. District court does the same way, Monday and Friday. This month, they're having 2 jury trials.
Full civil in there too.
Had one already, got a civil trial in the interim, and then picking another felony jury. I am pleased to tell you that prior to COVID, we had 280 to 300 cases pending on both dockets in the district court and the county court. During the shutdown, court freeze, whatever you want to call it, our numbers soared to about 1,100 pending cases. And for the first time in 3 years, we're below 1,000. We were at about 950. But as Commissioner Raines and the sheriff will tell you, crime never stops. It's kind of like jumping on a trampoline. We'll plead 50 in a week and get 40 new cases in. So the workload is increasing, and I have a plan. We've got funds available through the district attorney's office on seizure funds and what's the other one? Pretrial diversion funds. I'm going to make a proposal to the court to try to get those numbers up where I can keep prosecutors. That's probably the biggest thing that's on my mind right now. I don't see any substantial increases as far as office operations or anything of that nature. I will say on behalf of my employees, your proposal to make a 5% increase is a good step in the right direction. As the court's all aware, we're looking at 8.5% inflation right now. For the last 30 years, we've been looking at 1 to maybe as much as 3%. So, all of us are losing buying power from what we take home. So that's a step in the right direction. Anybody understands? I do understand what a penny or what a 1% increase costs when you have 111 employees countywide. So that's a significant investment, and I appreciate your thoughts on that on behalf of my employees.
Sir? Well, with all the Ford stuff, all of our transports are going through the roof, our civil's going through the roof, our serving paper's going through the roof, gasoline has gone way through the roof. So we'll have to adjust for all that too. But I'm in dire need of another administrative assistant, pretty bad. We have so many. We've been using a part-timer quite a bit lately. And we have so many regulations and paperwork and stuff coming through there that our one is not keeping up. And she's working hard. I'm not saying she can't keep up. I'm just saying there's too much going on nowadays, and the state just keeps putting regulations after regulation after regulation, unfunded mandates on us. They love to pick on law enforcement every legislation. So, and training, we're having to increase our training, and the mandates coming down. The legislature says we'll be trained for these 15,000 different classes this time. So we've got a bunch of that going on. Nothing bad. Just the increase of the workload has gone way up, and the increase of the cost of everything is going way up. I'm supposed to have a meeting later on with Turnkey this week. So I'll have a little bit better handle on that, but they can increase every year according to the contract anyway.
Is that the food provider?
No, that's the health provider.
Okay.
Which has become a whole nother issue. All of our MHMR and mental health services and stuff has gone through the roof, and trying to find a better solution at the moment. We'll know a little bit better later on this week on that. But as far as dispatch goes, I need another dispatcher. I need 10 more dispatchers really, but I need another dispatcher badly. the call volume out there, and you can ask any of these guys or any law enforcement, the call volume has just, it's been steadily going up over the years, but the last couple of years has just, we've just seen an increase all the way across the board. And those girls, you can't get a word in edgewise out there. When you go out there, you can't even complete a sentence because, you know, you try to tell them something, they're like, hang on, let me answer this, hang on, let me do it, let me do it. And you can't even talk because it's just so busy all the time. And a lot of people don't see all the back end of the phone calls and stuff that they're fielding in there. And and the regulations and the mandates for them include them too. So I'm going to be asking for that. Whether or not y'all give it to me, I don't know, but there's a dire need for more manpower. Right now, Eastland County is the #1 in the 19-county region on 911 addresses. They're averaging 5 a day through the COG. New 911 addresses through the COG. That means there's that many people that are moving in. And, you know, we've got all these subdivisions that are going up in the county. We've got, you know, we have different companies that are buying big swaths of land and then subdividing it and selling it as soon as they do it. And I've heard of a 250 house project down by Tudor Road, and then we've got another deal going on between here and Gorman. And all those are houses going up, coming in, so that the population is increasing, which is increasing on us. I got one deputy out, you know, for 930 square miles, and all the new people coming in. So, I mean, at some point, we're really going to have to sit down and figure out how to provide services to these people.
And yet, the state demographic guy sat there last week and told us we would continue to lose population until 2050.
I don't know how when we're the #1.
You know, when our census came back and
That came from COG.
we lost 700 or so.
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
That's hard to
because
believe.
You go to Walmart or grocery or wherever, and you see people there that you've never seen before every time you go.
I don't believe that at all.
There's a ton of people who are not full-time residents here over on Lake Cisco, the development over there. There's a percentage that are living there full-time, but their primary residences are in Fort Worth and Dallas or the Metroplex, and they're spending vacation time down here. So that doesn't count on their population growth. Jason's right. A number of additional houses and things of that nature, and the calls that are associated are really very relevant to his budget and the problems that he's having. I'd like to tell the court on the revenue side. I haven't been able to do the research yet, but one thing that I know that we've never done that I'm aware of anyway is on all the transportations that the sheriff's department is forced to make on bond insufficiencies or to go pick up someone in Houston or Dallas or
Maine.
Do what?
Maine.
Or in Maine, yeah. You know, some of those are collectible, some of them aren't, but I think it's appropriate when you're requiring restitution to consider that, and that's something that we've never done. I plan on doing some research on that, and I don't know what the state's rate on reimbursement right now is, but with gas prices above $3 a gallon for regular unleaded, it's probably getting up in the 60 or 70 cent range per mile, and that could be a significant stream of revenue if we're able to collect some of that through restitution program. So,
High diesel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think we have any diesel left in the sheriff's department.
we got plenty.
I know. I don't think we can get reimbursement on that.
Jay, anything from constables, or I'm going to ask you to represent the JP since they're not here. Anything you see changing?
Like he said, the mileage in our budgets. Other than that, I know the JPs are over busy, but I don't know enough about their side of it.
Well, they're having to do a lot of required training now too with that bail reform stuff. They're having to go, and I mean they've got a lot of unfunded mandate stuff that they're having to do too, and we are too, and all the jailers are too. I know they've been working on that quite a bit. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, you're good, yeah.
Anything on elections?
The only thing that I'm worried about is our new machines and I don't, what's gonna cost for paper and all that stuff. So that's what I'm worried about. That's not really, not everything else should pretty much stay the same except for the machines and what comes with that.
Kathy?
What mine?
Different changes that you're looking at, your trends you're seeing in your office?
Not really, other than the cost of supplies going up, paper is going up. Other than that, and unfunded mandates, of course, and of course salaries. I think we've invested so much in an employee that, I hate to see him go because of pay raise. So I think a 5% is a good start. If you go more, that'd be even better.
Let's try 5 and see how that works. And you think about diesel, like Commissioner Raines talking about, everything that we have here has been trucked in. And either by train or truck or whatever, and that diesel at $5 a gallon, that translates directly to the bottom line. If we have a box of paper shipped in or whatever, it's going to be higher.
Once you get it to the yard, it costs even more to get it out to the field where it needs to be.
Yeah. What about the treasurer's office? Any trends going in your area?
See a lot more bills coming through. A lot more bills, but we appreciate the increase in salaries, but mine will stay the same.
I know we've done some increases, and I think about the JP court, because I've sat in for the JPs while they were gone a couple of times, and the cost of the autopsies just keeps going up, For a while, I don't know, can we still send someone to Tarrant County, or now have to go to Dallas County still? Still Dallas County? Tarrant County stopped taking of our request in, we have to start taking everybody to Dallas County. So those are just continue to go higher and higher.
Toxicology reports, which, of course, well, where we do on probably 50% of our cases are drug related. Those costs have gone up by about 25%.
I don't guess there's any chance or any hope that the DPS lab will ever be a viable entity to do our testing again.
In some senses, yes, they're making overtures saying that they're catching up. Still, no, they will not even consider testing misdemeanor marijuana under any circumstances. But
There's some stuff that we're sending there now, we're going back to sending there again. But the next problem you run into is some stuff they will take, some stuff they won't. But you're talking a year, at least a year on any case to get it back.
By that time,
which does nothing but stack everybody back up again.
and then the witnesses are gone or
Oh, yeah.
can't find them or whatever.
Always done with that, yeah.
Auditor's office?
Well, we're seeing everybody's costs, and same with Christina. I mean, we see what each of these offices are dealing with right now, and if workload in one office goes up, it trickles up to Christina's office and my office. So yes, rising costs, rising workloads.
Commissioners?
Same thing, fuel, equipment repairs, everything's up. Materials cost us quite a bit
Anybody-
more.
Anybody bought a set of tires lately? Oh my gosh, crazy.
Batteries are high too.
Batteries
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is just, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know whether I'll make it on fuel or not this year without taking it out of something else to put in.
That's what I'll have to do, James. I mean, that's just, when we were doing them millings, it was $500 every day for diesel. So it goes through 25,000 pretty quick for $500 a day.
And that's hauling your millings.
Mhm.
All right, well, everybody's had a chance to kind of give us a heads up on what's happening in their offices, those that are here today. The calendar may change a little bit once Loretta gets that finalized about the change on August the 8th. But until that point, that's the calendar we're gonna work with. So we'll shoot for a 5% increase. We'll see how it works. I hope we can get that done. If we can hold off buying any expensive equipment or expensive upgrades outside of the ARPA fund, we probably can make that work. We'll see. Don't go back and say, we're gonna do it. We're gonna try to do it. What we're gonna try to do. We're gonna try to do it. Okay, anybody else? And we've got City of Cisco, Cisco Fire, and Eastland Fire here. Anything from that perspective of the county budget you want to talk to? I'm not sure why you guys are here, but,
We were just here on different things. Just
Okay.
listening in on some of
Okay.
Jason's updates and stuff.
yep, good. Well, I'm glad y'all are here. Glad y'all are
We're
here.
seeing the fuel, and one thing we've noticed is that with the fire conditions, we're providing mutual aid to distant neighbors, so we've been in Rising Star several times, and those runs consume a lot more fuel than just making the fires
Yeah.
in our kind of residue territory. So just with the fire conditions, we're seeing that the protective equipment, fortunately, our volunteer staff provide their labor for free, but the equipment, Chief Fairbanks and I share testimony almost weekly that we get emails from vendors on forecasted price increases that are coming. The protective equipment has increased tremendously since October 1. It's just, we're in the same as ever, is a testimony of everyone.
So the increase in the mutual aid is due to lack of personnel. I mean, nobody's signing up. We did an open house a week ago and not one application went out.
Wow. I saw your
It's nice to get all those donations and buy all those pretty trucks, but if you ain't got nobody to put it in it, it's worthless.
Well, I haven't had a chance to publicly thank y'all for what you did there in the Eastern County Fire Complex fires back in March, so thank y'all both.
So that one week and a half or so, we spent $2,500 in fuel just on the complex fire. Cisco went to every single fire in the county, but we're only getting reimbursement on the FMAG from the wheat field and the kid fire, where we weren't at those fires very long because we had to go to other fires that were breaking out. So we're probably gonna break even on some of the stuff that we had to fix and all that, but it's not gonna, we're not gonna get much out of it.
Okay. Anyone else? Anything else? All right, thank you everyone for giving us that. Let's go to, Christina has asked that we go ahead and get the bills ready to pay. So let's move down to item 16, bills, claims, and accounts, if that's okay. All right. Ms. Key?
Yes, there are several sets. The first set is a health reimbursement arrangement, employee reimbursement for medical. Second set is April 29th payroll. That is all payables other than workers' comp and unemployment. Then April 29th payroll gross wages. Then there's one payment for the GLO MIT grant, $358,875. We have not received that yet?
No, we have.
We have, okay.
We have, there was a bill prior in April,
Mm-hmm.
March, that was approved through court, but it was to the wrong vendor.
Oh, that's right, okay,
But yes, we did receive
Okay.
that, and we did pay it last week.
okay. Then April 20th, data, that will be paid today. May 7th, data, also to be paid today. And then May 9th, payables, regular payables for today.
All right, anything to be made aware of as far as the payment process today? In other words, do we need to authorize specifically anything that's being added?
Let's see what the county clerk records management is, but that was already approved in Commissioner's Court on page 15 of the May 9th regular payables. So co-file is Govos now?
Yes. They
Okay.
still send out some invoices with CoFile and some with Govos, so
What's the new
Govos.
name?
Govos. Govos.
Govos. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
all right. With that then, can we have a motion to pay the bills, claims, and accounts as presented? Do we have a second? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign. And that carries.
Thank you, John.
I'm gonna start scribbling, and then that's much quicker.
Yes, it is.
It's unreadable, but it's quicker.
Yours looked like whoop when you signed it.
All right, next up is item number 3, discuss, consider proposed or pending contracts and agreements. And I don't have anything that's been presented to me, other than what we've already got in the agenda. Anyone else have anything to bring up today as far as an agreement or contract to discuss? All right, no action on item 3. Item 4 is to discuss, consider entering into an MOU or contract with the city of Gorman for supplemental police services. Sheriff Wager.
So I was approached a few weeks ago by a mayor down in Gorman and the council, and they're trying to help out Steve. They're having a hard time getting police applicants, so they were asking what it would take for us to maybe come down and supplement a couple days a week with them. I told them that I'd have to bring it before y'all, but preliminarily that it would be they'd at least have to pay the overtime rate and fuel charge that it would take for us to supplement that. In the meantime, they had a meeting last week, and I think there's some, for lack of better words, there's some internal politics going on there. So they tabled theirs, and I'm asking that we table ours. We'll just use this as a seed planting. I'm sure that they'll come back later, and we can discuss some more then. But this is not, they're not prepared to go forward at this moment. So I actually would like to discuss, see if this is something that y'all would allow to happen or not. If we'd have to come back with a new deal or whatever, but I think it'd be a good thing, in the long run for them. It'll probably a little bit of hardship on us, but, I think it'd be, it'd be down there anyway.
Is it something you want to do with that?
I think in long term, it'll be we can make it be a good thing.
Dealing with the city, they've got ordinances. How would be, and this is gonna be a deputy that's gonna be deputy uniform, it's gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
one of our guys down there.
Yes, sir.
How's that gonna handle as far as ordinance enforcement?
Well, this MOU and contract has all that in there. So we would be allowed to enforce city ordinances if we needed to through Gorman. I've expressed to them that I do not want to get into animal control or property cleanup issues. Just ordinances like, and I don't even know what their ordinances are, but something like you're not allowed to drink here, you're not allowed to do this here, those kind of ordinances, and we would write those citations through their municipal court.
Brad, can they legally write a citation it wouldn't go through city court though, it would go through justice court. If they wrote a JP, if they wrote a SO ticket, wouldn't it go through? You have to think about that a minute.
County has concurrent jurisdiction over the.
We can actually write the citation through whatever court jurisdiction we're in at the moment.
That's what I'm.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking as well.
Okay.
Off the top of my head. Judge, this is something that's been discussed for years, and several of the communities that have a real hard time, finding and retaining law enforcement officers, and there are some, Jason and I discussed, long-term, the possibility of expanding on this, and, it's just a possibility. I mean,
Maybe down the road.
yeah, somewhere down the road.
I really think that we're getting to the point where law enforcement's getting harder and harder to come by out here in the rural communities. It's really, the dynamics changed even since I've been in it. Used to, we'd get a stack of applications, and now we wait months and months to get one. The newer generations they don't care going to Metroplex. It doesn't bother them. They'll go up there and, they're starting 70,000, 80,000, and that's what they see. And it doesn't bother them, whereas some of us folk don't want to do that, and, but it has created a hardship, not just for here in Eastland County, it's across the board. And, sometimes the media is not kind to us, and, that doesn't help, and there's several academies that are shutting down. So it's actually a nationwide thing, and I think it's actually going to get worse. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of this going around the state of people coming together for conglomerates to get people taken care of.
I know you and Brad have kind of worked on the planning on this and the contract. At one time I heard that it's going to be like a overtime situation for your deputies, so they wouldn't be taking anything away from their own.
Correct.
It's going to be an overtime situation where the money gets paid directly from the city of Gorman, in this instance, to the deputy.
Correct. Well, no. It would go through the county.
Okay.
Yes, we would send out a bill, or however that works. We'd have to get with their office how it works, but it would be paid through the county, through them, and then they would reimburse the county.
Okay.
At an overtime rate pay plus fuel. And what we figured out was about $35 an hour. Currently, and I wrote this contract to expire September 30th of this year, so that in case there is any kind of pay increases or anything, we could take that into account. Fuel increase, we could take that into account and go and renegotiate again if they wanted to continue.
So deputy be in a county patrol vehicle.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be under the sheriff's office, under the county authority, and
Okay.
we'd work out all the little stuff of but they would be assigned to Gorman down there during that time.
Well, I would anticipate there'd be one or two other cities that might want to do the same thing somewhere along the way. Maybe.
That hasn't been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it might put the idea in their head, and I really think that going down the road, maybe not this year or maybe next year, whatever, but I think going down the road, it may turn into that just because these smaller towns can't compete.
Well, it could help.
They're having a hard time even competing with us much less competing with the bigger ones. So they just can't even get an application.
It could help our deputies because they'd get another source of income working overtime.
Well, and that's another thing. You know, every one of our deputies and the PDs and everybody, they all go to the Metroplex to supplement their income. You know, and they all do off-duty jobs, usually 1 or 2 days a week, when they're somewhere doing something. So this would give them an option of keeping them local, keeping them in the county, keeping them where they're available, and help supplement their income too. So it would be a win-win thing. It'll be administratively on my part, it might be a little bit more of a headache, but I think it'd be a win for Gorman and a win for the deputies too. So I think we can make it work. I don't foresee any problems, but again, we need to wait on them to figure out what they want to do, and then reapproach it.
Commissioners, anything to add? Okay, and we just need to table this at this time, is that right?
That's what I would suggest.
Okay, and then you'll bring it back to us whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir.
All right, can we have a motion then to table item number 4?
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that item is tabled until further notice. All right, Ms. Coverhouse, discuss and consider scanning or indexing civil minutes, flat files, 37190 through 38431.
Morning.
Co-file, still co-file. Morning, how are you today?
Yes, I'm
Good.
good. Yes, whenever we had this made, it was still co-file, it wasn't GoBas or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, this was originally from DPS, this vendor that I was using, but he moved over to co-file when they took over. Anyway, he has created a 5-year plan for me for my records management. And we've been saving up for a while, trying to increase my records management budget. So I talked to Loretta and I thought, what are we saving up for? Like, until what? And so she said she thought it was a good idea, and I have way behind on records management. And so this gives me about 17 or 18 rows in my basement that will scan in these indexes. The bulk of this contract is just explaining how they do it, what they do, and the process. But you'll notice it says the records, which are still the ownership of Eastland County District Clerk, even though they're taking them off-site to scan them and preserve them and then bring them back. I will box them up in our tubs that we have, our waterproof tubs, and send them off, and then they'll scan them and have them done before the end of the fiscal year.
So when those tubs come back to us, are you gonna store them over in your storage area?
They'll go back down into the basement.
In the basement, okay.
But they'll all be digitized so that I don't have to go in the basement to get them anymore. I can get them all in, like, on the computer. Have easy access to them. I don't have to handle them anymore. And then if they have that many of our documents, it's a good chance that people are going to come in and request those documents. And we'll just call them and they'll send those over to us via email, fax, however we would like them. So it doesn't restrict us in any way, but it's a good chunk of our documents that we get to send. Instead of sending just a few boxes, we get to send a big chunk of.
Okay, and the proposed pricing is $30,703, and we have that money in our records management for district clerk, is that right?
Yes. Yes.
That's right, okay. All right, gentlemen, questions, comments about this proposal? All right, can we have a motion then to accept this contract, enter into the agreement, and to allow Tessa to sign it? All right,
I'll make it.
I'll second.
motion made and seconded, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. So, are you gonna actually sign this, or is it gonna be another one of those DocuSign?
No, I'll actually sign this and
Actually
email
sign
it
it.
over to them.
Okay.
And I will make a note, let you know that the 30,000, what they've quoted us, is the max that they will charge us. So they will
Okay.
not go over that. So it
Okay.
could be less than that, but they will not go over that.
Okay,
But yes, he's just waiting for me to email this to him.
well, that's a dedicated funds, it can't be used but for
Right.
certain narrow items anyway. All right, so, we need to get a copy.
I have several.
Do you want to sign them and leave one with
I can.
Kathy for a placekeeper?
Mhm.
Give one to Loretta and have yours sent off. All right, perfect.
You're welcome. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tessa.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 6 is County Auditor presents Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool Workers Compensation Program. Recognizes Eastland County zero lost time in 2021. Ms. Key.
Yes, I just wanted to bring this through court. This is the 2021 plan year. Mine's in color and it's on cardboard. But this is zero lost employee hours for workers' comp during plan year 2021. And this is to the credit of every department improving safety for our employees.
Good deal. Good deal. All right. Gentlemen, any questions or comments? All right, can we have a motion then to accept this certificate from TAC about Eastland County being a zero lost time in 2021?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. All right, item number 7 is discuss and consider taking action on a participation agreement between the State of Texas Office of Court Administration, OCA, and the Eastland County Clerk's Office and District Clerk's Office for the Uniform Case Management System, UCMS vendor, Tyler Technologies, and Kathy and Tessa. Tessa, you might as well come on back down. All right. Brad, do you want to join us over here? And because part of this is going to key into the next one.
Yeah, sit here by me. Sit here by me.
Don't be afraid. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
I think we know who he is. All right. Ladies, who wants to go first? Tell us what you got.
I don't mind going first. So originally they sent the participation agreement for me to sign, and I also spoke with Davin about putting a ownership clause in here. Davin is from the Office of Court Administration. So he added ownership, which is data and documents stored in the UCMS shall remain your property, meaning the county, and in the county's custody to be used for whatever purpose you deserve at no cost. Neither the vendor nor OCA shall have the right to use data or documents except to perform UCMS services. And the reason why I ask them that is because sometimes we get down the road and they think that those records are theirs.
Come there.
Yeah, or the Tyler Technologies or whoever the vendor is. And another thing is because I contract free of charge with iDocket for what they call their Ruby services. They come into our server right now at no charge to the county and extract that data and put on their website. It doesn't hold images, only of judgments, motion to revokes. It has helped out the law enforcement, the bonds people, and just the general public, the hiring and firing people who go through background searches. But if this wasn't in here, they would not be able to get into that. So another reason I put that. OCA has worked graciously on doing that. And I also asked Davin, I said, I think it would be better for Judge Fields to sign this participation agreement. And so Judge Fields and I talked about it to be in a wet signature as well as it's going to be in a DocuSign, so electronically. So when you guys consider this, if y'all would give him permission to do both.
So I got a DocuSign last week, but I think that was related to district clerk's office, but we need to do two different.
Yeah, I gave
one for
Davin
district
your
court,
email.
One for county court.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I gave Davin your email. If you did not get it, let me know.
Okay.
So that's why we're here today.
Okay.
Yeah,
I have the same. They sent it to me, and I just forwarded it. I sent it back to them. They changed it to where you would sign it, and then so I forwarded it on to you. If it's expired, I can contact Sherry and have her email that to you directly.
They'll
so you
probably
could.
have to, because those DocuSign things only last for about 48 hours. It seemed like that was like Thursday of last week
It was at least.
that I saw that one from your office. So they'll probably
Right
need to
before
send me
Yep.
fresh DocuSigns today and let me get in there and take care of that.
I'll reach out to Davin and let him send it back to
And
you.
just to remind everybody, the UCMS, this is the free side of the Tyler software that the state's paying for.
For the county
the
and district
clerks,
clerks.
yeah.
For
Yeah.
just for their,
Primarily a notification that we want to participate in the program. I can't go forward with our contracts until such time as these are signed. This is step one of the process.
when will we actually go live with UCMS after today, after we do the step one? Any idea?
They go through a lot of production rollouts, project management, and we'll test it in a side live environment before we go live.
That's what we did with E-File.
Mhm.
Yeah, we did the
Yep.
same thing.
We did that
Okay.
with our Tyler Eagle self-service that we just upgraded to a few months ago.
Okay.
I don't know,
I would
probably,
guess early next year.
yeah, that's what I would think.
Is there any downside to signing on to UCMS? I mean, it seemed like a great idea to me, but,
No,
I haven't found one yet.
okay,
yeah, it's an opportunity of a lifetime.
okay.
We've been blessed with this opportunity.
All right. Gentlemen, questions or comments about, with two different operations, one for county clerk, one district clerk, signing on to the uniform case management systems with OCA? All right, can we have a motion then to allow me to enter into that contract and sign for both the county clerk and district clerk to enter into the UCMS system with OCA?
Oh, my.
Second.
Okay? And Kathy, Tessa, does that capture what you need?
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
thank y'all.
Okay, and allow me to sign everything today?
Do you want me to get you a hard copy
I
as
think
well?
I'd rather it all be the same thing. That way we'll put your hard copy into the file as well.
Okay.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign, and that carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And if you'll let the person know if they need to send me a fresh DocuSign.
Sorry, I'll email Sherry.
And could I get copies of both fully signed?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, good deal. All right, thank you both, and does that cover everything y'all both need?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 8 is discuss and consider, thank you, Tyler Technology and E4 Software with Brad Stevenson as service agreement contracts for, and then there's a listing here. I'll just go through them for the record. We're on the record. 8A is Odyssey Case Management. 8B is Attorney Manager. 8C is Odyssey Financial Manager. 8D is Encode 10 Financial Manager. 8E is Jail Software. And 8F is Public Safety Software. And then item 9 ties into this because it's considering execution for all of these agreements, should we move forward with that. Mr. Stinson?
Gentlemen, I normally defer to the court, but I've decided this morning not to give you an opportunity to ask you if you want the good news or the bad news first. I'm gonna give you the good news first, along with Loretta's help. Sheriff?
Okay,
You probably need to come up here too.
To start with, one of you gentlemen, or several of you gentlemen, have asked Mrs. Key to do an analysis of the funds that have been committed and what remains with regard to the American Rescue Plan funds. She was at conference last week. Why am I talking for you?
Because you're so good at it.
Basically, what I would tell the court is that several of her associates that are auditors from other counties have indicated that they've already received their second-year funding. We're expecting that pretty much at any time from the indications that she got. It could happen just any time. So
We're looking at, another 1.7,
Yes.
1.7 and change. Actually, it's 1,783, 10750, I believe, that will be coming in. So far, what's been pledged, is this it?
This is it.
That right there?
Mm-hmm.
What's been pledged, and this would be inclusive of all the software and hardware integration, is 1 million,
No.
nope, I'm sorry, 2,217,393,767 cents. So what that's gonna leave you with is,
Well, it's actually, what's been pledged is going to go into the second trench. So we're actually over pledged for what we've already received. And we were doing this very quickly before court, so, so what's pledged is $434,286.10 more than what we've already received from the first tranche.
that's the ask that we have so far. We haven't paid that out yet.
Yes, and the only thing I'm not really sure on, and I literally put this together during a meeting before court. So, the only thing that I was not sure on was the westbound water supply request, and I don't remember an amount from them.
I'd have to go back and look. He called me last week. I gave him Jill's phone number.
Oh, did you?
Told
Okay,
him to just call her directly and get the application process started through her.
okay. But I didn't have anything in my notes, so that one I was not sure on, so I just put in 50,000. So if it's more, we'll have to add more to the pledged. I don't think the
I think
court.
50 sounds about right,
Yeah.
actually. Okay. The current numbers on our technology stuff have changed, and I'm not gonna lie to you, they've changed substantially, and I'm gonna give you a couple of reasons why. First of all, I want to commend the sheriff. He did a whole lot of research on the Tyler law enforcement segment and really found that it was not what he wanted to utilize. And in fact, several of the surrounding counties and around the state of Texas were not pleased with the law enforcement segment. Everything that he heard with regard to the court system, district attorney's office, JP offices, were real positive. Although I'm gonna say, guys, it's a computer program and there will be glitches, there will be difficulties. The training process is fairly onerous. The contract with Tyler, which I've been through twice now, is extremely detailed. And my first question to their representative was, we don't have enough people to staff all these committees and project managers and all that kind of stuff. And she said, Brad, this is intended for a community like Dallas or Houston or Austin or something like that, where we have a huge group of county employees that come to the table to help make the decisions. Small counties, you're gonna need a project coordinator and a couple other people who are authorized to make daily decisions during the process. So it's not nearly as complicated as it appears to be. When we first gave you a number, it was $783,130. I'm going to tell you that the sheriff's proposed contract with E-Force is
how many $1,000 less? 60
$61,544. It'll
is,
be $61,544 cheaper on the install.
okay.
That was the first total.
Okay, our first total is $852,773.35 with, annual maintenance costs of $195 and, less our, current, net data charges and other software maintenance contracts of $118. So we were looking at about $65,000 in increased support of the stuff. Now, one thing that did not happen is JP's did not signed off on this at the time, and the new quote includes the justice courts, which is the primary reason for the increase that I'm fixing to tell you about.
That's you.
But with the inclusion of the JP system, we're looking at enterprise case manager for the JP offices, the court system, enterprise jury, enterprise attorney manager, and then the enterprise financial system, which is primarily the auditor and the treasurer's offices. Those numbers have not changed, but, well, the only number that's changed is the JP case manager. And with that inclusion, the total proposed cost is $1,017,393,067. The support and maintenance is $183,907.23. With a reduction of, I guess we're gonna look at 2023 numbers.
Yes, because the first year annual support is in these numbers.
Okay, so it'll be less $123,000 that we're already expending on that item. With that, utilizing solely ARPA funds to pay for this, you will have, what's the balance?
Right at 1.3 million after we receive the second tranche payment. So from what's already pledged and the two tranches together, there'll be about 1.3 million that can be used to fund other projects.
Other projects such as I believe I heard the Commissioners Court say that they wanted to try to do the employee support deal one more time, which is approximately $250,000 if that's done, and that would still leave in excess of $1 million for whatever other projects are needed. And I apologize, I don't have a real nice package for each one of you today, but this all came up on Thursday and Friday, and Loretta was at conference, so we got together this morning at 8 o'clock. She worked on it over the weekend and ran the numbers, and that's where we land.
Have we done the actual application with Jill Finney, or do we want to talk about that today to make the application?
Right.
Okay.
And one thing we're not sure of, well, there are a couple things we're not sure of.
Several things. Yeah.
Because Jill Finney, when she was here before, said that even some of the purchasing cooperatives are not working for the American Rescue Plan funds. So I put a call into her this morning. I need to find out because Encode, Tyler, all the Tyler products are through Sourcewell Purchasing Cooperative. They're priced through there. eForce, their pricing is not state contract or through a purchasing cooperative, but there might be, because it needs to interface with the current eForce program, we may not have to go out for bid on this, so I'm just going to get all that clarified with Jill before we actually proceed. So I don't know if we're gonna have to do an RFP for all of it or some of it, so I want to make sure we have everything covered before we proceed.
There's one thing that's significantly different in the sheriff's proposal with E-Force is that E-Force is going to pay for all the hardware and software necessary to support the system. He's proposing to have it installed at the dispatch. That's a significant savings on that. It's 60-some odd $1,000, and they'll pay for all the support and maintenance.
Guys, I apologize. I mean, I know we're down at the 5-yard line, and I'm changing plays on you, but I couldn't in good conscience support the Tyler project for the law enforcement side. The more I heard about it, between us starting all this stuff, initially it sounds great and everything. And I've said in open court that I didn't care for the interface, but every software is different and we'd learn it. But the more we started digging into it and listening and talking, and I've been calling around, and everybody has said court side's great. Go to pen and paper before you go to the law enforcement side of it, and the CAD system and all that stuff. And I just keep hearing horror stories on it. I already liked E-Force, and they came in cheaper, and we already have some of it that we've been learning on since September. But they came back with a new proposal and kind of gave us a whole bunch of stuff that Tyler wasn't going to give us either.
So this is gonna be like an add-on module to what we already have in dispatch.
So this would be
Ties it all together.
like phase 2 of what the
Okay.
plan has been. Phase 1 was putting the CAD system in, the kind of the heart of the whole thing, and now it will link all the law enforcement, fire, medics, and the CAD and dispatch all together into one great big system. But E-Forces also came back and said that they would do the data conversion from net data in on their side, on the law enforcement side, and then also will create the interface modules on their side to Tyler. Now there'll be some work on the back end of Tyler having to talk. Their module will have to talk to their module, but that's the way that works. So it should all interface the same. We'll get what's better for us on our side, and they'll get what's better for them on their side, and it should all talk together by the time it's done.
And Jason has, and I personally have talked to representatives at Tyler and at E-Force, and they have done this before. They do interface, they have integrated and tied these systems together, and they say they work real well. There's an additional charge on the Tyler side because they've got a computer program that manages that. I think it's like $6,000, but it's all incorporated in the bid. We've got a couple of concerns. E-Force is pretty much a nationwide company. They have, what'd you say, 100 employees in Texas, something
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have over 100 agencies in Texas.
So they've got a very good presence here in Texas, but they're a Utah corporation. And one of the things that their contract says is that they want 80% down before they start the project. I've already had a conversation. They're expecting to hear back from us. We can't do that under the Texas Constitution. We can't pay for services in advance. So we have to come to a compromise on that about what's an appropriate upfront starting cost to get
Percentage of
them up.
completion or something along that.
Right. So we've got a little research to do on that. What was the other issue? As to whether we actually have to go out for a RFP with regard to the hardware. And Jason is certainly hoping that we don't have to do that for the delay in the process, but.
Yeah, I really don't, guys. It'll put us, I'm hoping, and I've talked to them about having a start date for us of October 1.
What's the cost? Once we get our 50,000, it's mandated that we have to go out for bids.
Oh, it's $469,295.
Is this one of those sole sources situations?
Well, and that's what I need to talk to Jill Finney, because federal funds we need to be very careful that all our funds, but because this is federal funds and they're pickier than even Texas state law. So we want to make sure we've complied with everything we have to comply with.
Another thing on the eForce grant is that they will host it. It's gonna be a little bit different hosting than what's normal because their headquarters and data center is out of Utah. And for TLET's state information, they won't allow that to route out of state. So they have said that they would come and install the hardware, install the racks, install all the infrastructure, and maintain it, and pay the IT guys to maintain it, the whole 9 yards on that.
And they've done that before because they are already operating
Yes.
in Texas.
Yeah, they do a lot of it in Moore County. And they said, look, we can do it in Moore County or we can do it here. And I'd rather it be here.
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot easier going out to dispatch to tie into all the 911 and the TLETs and all that stuff, all the CGIS requirements and DPS requirements to make that happen. We'd have to jump through a lot more hoops to put it in Moore County. But I like the idea of it physically being here anyway. And it should be faster for all of us that way too.
So was there any maintenance after all this?
There will be, we'll have an annual maintenance, yes, but
That's what's over there on this side, right?
we'll have an annual maintenance. On our side, just the law enforcement side, not speaking for the court side, but it'll save, going with eForce, save $14,906,000 annually over the whole project, and then it would save the sheriff's office a difference of $20,854 annually, going with eForce, and that's them taking care of all the maintenance. Now on the maintenance, on the hardware, they've agreed to pay for all the annual maintenance on the hardware and all that stuff too.
Good.
So on the law enforcement side, it's just substantially better, as far as price-wise goes anyway. And he's-
Price-wise, software-wise, I think it, and we've talked to several about eForce too. In fact, Taylor County, the eForce was their number one they were fixing to go to, and then another company came in out of Florida, and they'll be the first ones to do out of Florida that just had a different, they threw a whole bunch of money at it, but they were going to go with eForce. I mean, eForce is a good program, and and Tyler for law enforcement, I don't think so. So we'll save money and we'll get what we need.
A better program.
So gentlemen, basically the bad news, which I get to the bottom line, is that, as compared with the first time we made this presentation, it's approximately $164,000 difference in the cost, and that's primarily the inclusion of the justice of the peace component.
Not sure, yeah.
Has nothing to do with the sheriff's department.
What do you actually need from us today that we need to think about? Do you need an agreement that we need to contact Jill Finney to make the application, to go through that process, to get us in line? I know there's a point in time that we've got to get in line to get this done if we're gonna do it, which is,
Judge,
I'm in agreement with it, but
I would say that this is subject to answering the questions, that need to be answered. One, the down payment with eForce, negotiate that to something that's acceptable, within the Constitution and makes Loretta comfortable with the process that we're going through. The question on the RFP on the hardware, and the down payment to eForce. Those are the three questions that we have to get answered satisfactorily to make sure that we're complying with the Constitution and all the regulations that control this ARPA funding. But subject to being able to do that, The only thing we need is authorization for you to be able to execute those contracts once we've answered those questions and got those firmly answered.
And once the application's been made and we go through that process of accepting the application,
It's my understanding from talking to Loretta, I have not talked to Jill about it, but that process is a relatively short process. First of all, many counties in the state of Texas are availing themselves of the same thing. They're using ARPA funds to fund these kinds of projects. So the approval on the funding, or the use of the funds, what'd you tell me? Thought it'd take a couple of weeks?
Yes, I think the application process is just going to take a couple weeks.
So, once we've got the approval from the regulation people, on these ARPA funds, then immediately we're gonna need to be able to sign these contracts, and we should have those three issues, all within statute, within code, and at that juncture, we'd want you to be able to go ahead and execute the contracts and move forward with this thing. Because Tyler has indicated to us that their target date would be, around the 1st of October also, which would be in everybody's best interest.
I want your input on the Tyler. You work with Tyler in and out, day in, day out. Is this going to be a good system for county court, for probate matters, for commissioner court matters, land records, all of that? Is this gonna be a good upgrade for you?
Yes, now I will only handle the court side of it because we have Tyler Eagle. Everything we've done with Tyler has been smooth.
Lots of training?
Lots of
Lots of
training.
support.
Support, yes.
Okay.
The support is good. And with us, the clerk side of it going with the UCMS, we have a separate support that the state of Texas has made them set up. So they're kinda, if you're going with the UCMS on the clerk side, you've got top-notch support, kinda like your own.
Okay.
I think it'll be very good. I think it will streamline a lot better, down to even doing electronic warrants, electronic citations, and just talking back and forth.
Well, I know we've got to get off net data because it's almost not supported now, and the further we go in time, the less stable it's going to become. At some point, it's going to crash out.
Well, and it
we
never
won't
has
have a
been
system.
CGIT compliant. And so that's becoming a big deal, because, being compliant with CGIS is tied to every grant that we have.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be good.
Okay. With that, then, what kind of motion do we need? Maybe all-encompassing motion? If commissioners are in agreement with this, commissioners, do you want to give us your opinion on this process that we have here and this opportunity before us? I think it's an opportunity, but let's hear what commissioners have to say about it as well.
Well, I'll be curious to see if we have to bid that out,
Yeah.
because it is over 50,000, we can't do anything, we have to bid all of our stuff out, I just want to see.
If we have to bid it, we have to bid it, and that's a process Loretta and everybody's familiar with. The only reason we don't wanna have to do that, if there is a loophole with regard to this, is, the time constraints, basically.
Yeah, it'll throw it, not to mention the pain in the butt of it all, but
We do
it'll
that.
throw it behind a couple months to end up with the same, what I believe would get the same result.
But it would be complying with the law unless there's some
No, I'm not
some
trying
way
to-
out that we don't,
Not trying to go
like
around
a sole
the law,
source
just-
agreement that we've had before.
That's just the only concern.
And you're just worried about, is it the sheriff's department that would have to be bidding?
No, I wanna make sure even
All of it.
Tyler, through that purchasing cooperative.
Yeah.
Well,
I
and if there's
believe the
if-
county and districts are excluded from going out for bid, but double check it.
I
If
think
there's a doubt, bid it out. I've always
On
heard.
that
I think it's
program, on
good.
the court system and everything, I think there is an exclusionary provision because it's administered and they pre-approved those three vendors. And
On yours.
On the,
On
yes.
the clerk side of it,
but
yes.
not on the E4
No.
side of it. We don't know the answer to that question.
Not
for
on the
sure.
JP, anything outside of the clerks
Right.
is excluded.
Right, and that's what, yours is done, because it was done through the state.
Yeah,
But it's the rest of it that I need to make sure.
yeah.
I will say that we've been negotiating back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and E-Force has really thrown in a whole bunch of bells and whistles to make they want our business, and they're hungry for it, and, you know, they're a little bit smaller than Tyler is, of course, most everybody is, but I think that anybody, if we do go through the bid process or whatever, they're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a hard time beating what we've gotten done, accomplished already on this.
Commissioners, any other comments, thoughts? Is it our intention that we want to try to move forward with this? Go through the application process with Jill Finney, get the legal situation worked out with the bid process and with the down payment process with E-Force? Is it our intention, once we get those issues ironed out, to move forward with it?
If y'all are wanting to go forward with I don't know any other way than to take advantage of what we got in front of us.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I've said this once before. I mean, we're way behind the curve on our technology right now. The opportunities that we have with the ARPA funds give us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be able to get the product that we need to support what we do in this courthouse, and in the precincts as well, to an extent. Not nearly so much in the precincts, but it definitely has a bearing on y'all. I know y'all are having fits with your invoicing systems even now. As Judge Fields said, the product that we have right now is not being supported and upgraded. It's going to be melded into the last company that we had such a catastrophe with, and it'll be gone sooner rather than later. So I think time is of the essence if we're going to pull the trigger on this, and if we're not, I don't know what we're going to do. I guess I could go back and quote our former commissioner.
Oh, here we go.
He used to sit
Big
down
chief
there.
tablet, number two pencil.
That's it. Because that's basically our options.
So what I'm hearing here from the commissioners is that we basically want to move forward with it. Is that what I'm hearing? We want to.
I think that we should take advantage of what we got in front of us and upgrade, yes.
Okay,
Once
Judge.
we get the bugs worked out, as far as the issues, not bugs, the issues that are before us.
Judge, would it be all right with the court if I propose for y'all's discussion a motion?
Yeah, I'd like an all-encompassing motion that allows us to take advantage of this, and names me or somebody, and you might want to just say county judge, not my name, just in case this transition's over for another 8+ months, just in case something comes up. We gotta think about it. All that. I know I keep hammering you guys with that, and I'm sorry, but we gotta think about that.
7 months and how many days?
Well, I don't have my phone with me, so I don't have my.
Today's the 9th, so it's 21.
Well, whatever. Whatever. It needs to be styled as to where the county judge can execute the document. So if you want to propose a motion, let's put it out here and see if commissioners approve it.
Are we on number 9 now?
I guess that would be 9, wouldn't it?
Just wanted to confirm.
Yes. Discuss, consider execution of Tyler Technology and E4 software contracts. We've got to make sure that, Brad, that the LCMS application process is met, that the legal issues as far as the down payment and the bid process are resolved one way or the other, whether we go to full bid or if there's an exclusion for bidding, and then to give the county judge the authority to sign all related documents, which is kind of what we do when we do a big grant. Like at the Water District, we have one document that says it allows the county judge to sign all these documents, so we don't have to keep coming back every 4 days with a meeting and getting authority again. So y'all draft that and then propose it, and let's see if we have an agreement for the motion and the second.
Let me see if I can make a stab at this, and I take no pride, and since I've not authored it, I'm just gonna pull this up as best I can off the top of my head. But I think the motion should be basically that the Commissioners Court recommends and agrees to the combined bid of Tyler Technologies and E-Force that's presented today, and I have a copy of this for the court's file. The total bid price is $1,017,393.67 with an annual maintenance fee of $183,907.23. That the county, that Judge Fields or his successor be authorized to solicit a contract through Joe Finney and what's the name of the company? Langford and Associates.
Langford Community Management Services, LCMS.
LCMS to approve this contract, and that Judge Fields or his successors be authorized to execute contracts with Tyler Technologies and E-Force, subject to answering the questions and being in compliance with all the laws that affect the down payment, particularly with regard to E-Force, and the question as to the necessity for bids on any component, but specifically the hardware and software that's necessary to support this. It will be provided by E-Force. What else?
You caught all that quick? I was waiting for you to say stop. Wait.
I took a breath.
The only thing I would say is that these are not bid amounts, these are quote amounts.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna let Kathy get that amended, and I'd like for her to read that back to us just so we understand it. I'm gonna put you to the test here.
That's not my job description.
It is too. You take those minutes.
I didn't stutter and stammer too much.
No, but I lost that whole tail end of it. Okay, so the Commissioners Court recommends and agrees to combine, to go with the combined quotes of Tyler Technologies, which I would say the Odyssey section of that, if we could add Odyssey.
Well, they've changed it now. They've renamed all of it. Yeah,
Whatever it is.
yeah.
Instead of like, because they have so many different products.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Encode and Odyssey.
Okay, you want to do the Enterprise? Isn't that what their name is now?
Enterprise.
And Encode actually has another name.
And
ERP Pro 10.
ERO Protein.
ERP Pro 10.
Like the number 10?
Yes.
Okay. And E-Force for $1,017,393.67, and the annual maintenance, $183,907.23, and to allow the county judge and his successors,
To sign
to
or
sign.
execute. And you had that at 1,017,000, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Total project, not just info.
right.
Yeah, total. And make application with Langford Community.
Community Management Services, LCMS.
And allow the county judge to execute all contracts subject to the answering of the questions and being compliant of the laws. That's where I stop.
I think we need to put in there somewhere about payment shall be from American Rescue Plan funds. I don't think we have that in there. It's not coming
No.
out of the general fund.
I didn't hear that, but.
Well, I'm adding it.
That's that.
Okay.
Yep. It just needs to be,
And to be allocated from the ARPA funds.
Okay. What about the percentage? Did you mention something about that for the E-Force?
Yes, the two main questions that have to be answered, subject, you could say subject to satisfactory, amendments to the down payment with regard to E-Force, and resolving any questions regarding necessary bid processes. And I think that's all we.
All right, you have a good clean copy?
No, I need a break to do that.
Bidding requirement,
Okay.
application and authority.
And to allow county judge and his
That's
successors.
Or his successor.
What?
We don't both need to sign it.
Successors
Thank you.
execute and make application in Langford Community Management Services and allow county judge to execute said contract subject to the satisfactory
Amendment
amendment
of down payment issue
with E-Force
Mhm.
and questions for bid processing.
for bid process for bid proposals.
Okay.
I think that covers it.
And then again, it shall be allocated from the ARPA funds.
Yes. Payment will be allocated from the ARPA funds. All right, y'all think we need to add anything else, change anything? We might want to find out if somebody wants to make a motion to that. Anybody want to make a motion to that effect?
Thinking about having to read it again.
You want to read it again? I think she's gonna kick you under the big table down there.
I'll make you do it.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Changes, modifications? We have a motion before us and a second. All in favor say aye. 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 Is it unanimous? It's a unanimous decision. Okay.
And just to try to make you feel a little bit better, to redo that one more time, going through Loretta's pledges and all that, it appears that the court's, subject to receiving our second ARPA funding, will have about $1,300,048 to allocate to other entities.
Cisco.
It is Cisco.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate
All right,
that.
thank you.
Yes, thank you guys, and I'm sure, I know my staff will appreciate moving forward.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to take a short break. Judge.
I'll second that motion. Motion made. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and we're on a short break. Kathy, of the additions that you got in your contract, retention of the,
Oh, on the PA?
yeah,
Yeah.
would you grandson's about to be a junior in high school.
Hard to believe.
I know. I am. I don't deny it. I thought I lost my driver's license yesterday. Reconvene. Can we have a motion to go back into session? Motion. Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign, and we are back in session. And next up is item number 10. Discuss, consider RFP, RFE by Sheriff Weger for 2 rack server hardware, software, and authorizing same. Sheriff Weger.
So, since I went ahead and left this on there just in case it was something that came up, because it takes so long to get it back on and come back around, so I went ahead and left it on there. That was for if I was staying with the Tyler side, on my side, I needed to build the infrastructure, because Tyler didn't come with that. So, with eForce, and y'all agreeing to allow us to go to eForce, then I don't need that.
Okay.
eForce is gonna come in and build everything, and they're paying for it. So, I do not need the rack servers. I would, as long as we're staying with eForce on my side, we don't need that. So,
Okay.
I'd recommend just
No action.
no action on it.
All right. Thank you. No
Thank
action
you.
then on item number 10. Item number 11 is discuss, consider, and accept filing of cybersecurity training certificates. And I've got a pretty good stack of them here. I don't know, do you want me to read these on the record, or you just take them in?
I'll just take them in and top them unless you feel like you need to.
Like the motor
top.
vehicle registration may have done their training. There's one for Tessa. Yes, ma'am?
Is Betsy keeping up with the email list and who all we have them on?
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so. I think she's working on I think she's working off of a table or an Excel spreadsheet that's got those in there.
Okay.
I hope. All right. Anybody else have a cybersecurity certificate to file in today? Related to county computer? All right.
Abby, you got dispatching SOs, right? We did them weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we did that.
Me?
That
If
was a
they were
whole,
presented at court, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, big package, and you did them somewhere besides TAC, as I understand.
For the SO, but we did it through TAC on the dispatch.
The dispatch.
I was just making sure. I've
Okay.
done 20 things since then, I was just making sure.
Just 20?
Item number 12 is 911 update. and
Oh, do
property-
you want to accept those in, Judge?
That'd be a good idea, wouldn't it? Let's have a motion to accept the cybersecurity training certificates.
Motion. Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. All right, cooperative dispatch 911 addressing.
Okay, so some of this you've heard, some of it you haven't, but the DPS audit started last week. It'll go through the end of the month. It's a pain in the butt, so we're doing that all month out there. We had a new legislative mandate come out that all dispatchers will have CPR for telecommunicators. Of course, it's a new thing that the state's coming out with. One of the prerequisites was CPR for everybody, which I tried to do anyway, but we all have our CPR done now. Now we're waiting for part 2 of that class, where it's a whole nother day of telling people how to do CPR on the phone. That's the state's, some of that unfunded mandate. Somebody in an office down there that has never been a dispatcher. So, they're all trained. We're still shorthanded one, and we had half of it turn over a couple months ago, and we've been training, and there's 4 out there that still have, and we still have some part-timers too, but we have the 4 main dispatchers that have any kind of experience that are trying to train the other ones, and then we'll have another one hopefully someday come on that we'll have to train. So we've been behind, and everybody's been working really hard. The 4 that are out there have just been really have picked up the slack and have really been doing a good job. It's been busy, you know, with all the aftermath of the fires and on top of the normal stuff. And some of those girls were training during those fires. They've been there, you know, there was a couple of them, it was their first couple days. So, and it scared off one. We lost one over at one of the new ones. The ones we got now I think are going to be good, but we got to get there. But we're training and moving along. We had a telecommunicator class. I got a telecommunicator class brought here to Eastland. I hosted it and had several counties, Jones County, Sweetwater, Callahan, Taylor County. There were several of us in there, including myself. I went through and got it. So I've now got my telecommunicator license as well. And then two of our dispatchers, and then April, the secretary for us, went through. She's mandated by law to be a telecommunicator as well. And she had never done it, so she's now certified as well.
Cool.
The frequencies were installed on the towers a couple weeks ago. We've been doing a couple weeks of testing on them, and so far, as far as I know, there's been no interference. So I'm hoping to start this week. It'll be a little bit of a project, time-consuming project for me, but I'm hoping to start this week, maybe next week. Of going down and starting to reprogram. I'm going to start with Gorman and Rising Star and reprogramming all the radios to be able to talk to those towers. So that's almost done. On to the last part of that. And that's about it.
All right, gentlemen, any questions or comments on dispatch 911? All right, Jason, thank you very much for bringing this report.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And let's see, there's nothing in writing on that, is there, Justin? Jason, I'm sorry?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, just
Okay. All right,
day-to-day stuff.
thank you. Anyone else have anything to add for 911 or dispatch? All right. Update on the county burn ban. Of course, we have a new burn ban that went into effect to replace the other one that was about to go out. And it's gonna go on for another 80 or so days. Very little rain received. Does anybody have an idea of taking off the current burn ban? Please tell me no. Okay. All right, no change in the burn ban. It will remain on. Personnel matters. Ms. Key.
You each have a report. The time period of that report is April 13th through April 26th. During that time period, new hires, 1 jail guard, 1 security deputy, and 1 full-time dispatcher, and no employment terminations.
Okay. Anyone else have any issues to bring up for personnel matters? All right, hearing none, can we have a motion then to accept the personnel matters report as prepared and presented by the auditor?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. Okay, 15A, certification of additional revenue. Ms. Key.
Yes, there is one. It is for $6,005.10 received from the state comptroller for the Texas Juvenile Justice Division. It was deposited into juvenile probation checking and credited to the regionalization grant R revenue line. I'm asking the court to increase juvenile probation's external contracts expenditure line by the same amount.
All right, and that's the only certification of additional revenue that I see.
Yes, sir.
All right, gentlemen, can we have a motion to certify the additional revenue and the expenditure as just outlined by our auditor?
Motion.
Do we have a second? He made a motion. I heard that one first. Second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that is approved. Got it. Thank you. Okay. Next up is 15B, emergency amendments.
No emergency amendments.
All right. 15C is amendment changes by fund.
There's just one page, this court, and you'll see in the right-hand column, It's either a certification of additional revenue from previous courts or an adjustment within budgets.
Okay, gentlemen, any questions or comments on the amendment changes by fund? Can we have a motion then to make the amendment changes by fund as outlined by the report from the county auditor?
Motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. Okay. 15D is report of financial condition. Ms. Keith.
We have our regular meeting report, and I did this report for, as of the end of April, so y'all could see where we were at the end of April instead of trying to just do 1 week of May. The first section of that report is the combined statement of cash positions for April. These are general ledger balances, general fund checking, $4,509,561.97. Tax pool, $331,255.53. First Financial Bank CDs, $857,710. Texas Bank CD, $250,000. Schertz Bank CD, $250,000. Prosperity Bank CD, $250,000. Tax pool prime, $521,697.27. Texas class, $510,684.30. Total general ledger balance, all funds on deposit for general fund, $7,480,909.07. Road and bridge checking, $957,449.80. If you will go down to Fund 26, which is the grant for the American Rescue Plan funds, checking $489,409.13. CDs, $750,000. Texas class, $500,621.93. General ledger balance for the ARPA funds, $1,740,031.06. Then on page 2, if you will go to the bottom for Fund 98 payroll clearing and Fund 99 operation clearing, and please disregard those amounts. We're still in the process of reconciling the first 3 months of the fiscal year from the old, or from the GFA system. And then on page 4, all the other funds are listed. Then on page fund is the total general ledger balance for all funds on deposit. And there are 2 total pages. The next report is the combined statement of revenue and expense for April. It's showing the April month-to-date revenue and expense and year-to-date revenue and expense. And as of the end of April, revenues for general fund were $8,565,779.29. The expenditures were $5,205,396.93. Road and bridge revenues, $1,614,901.98. Expenditures, $928,772.56. The other funds are listed. 3 pages of that report. The last report is the combined statement of cash receipts and disbursements for April, showing beginning cash balance, cash receipts, cash disbursements, and ending cash balance by fund and account type. I believe there are 5 pages of that. I did include printout from First Financial Bank online banking showing the bank balances in each of the accounts, just because we're not 100% reconciled yet. And I do want to say that as of the end of April, we are in a adequate income and expense and cash position. And the last report is the scheduled lease payments, showing the 4 lease purchase agreements for Road and Bridge. And I believe all payments have been made.
All right, gentlemen, any questions or comments on the financial report as of the ending of April? Anyone want to make a motion to accept that report as presented?
I'll make it good. Second.
Motion made and seconded to accept the report. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries. All right, 15E, investment report, we've already talked about that. 15F, financial reports. And Kathy, I'm gonna just kind of start here on some of these that I've got. I've got the report from Constable Precinct 2. I've got the 3 JP reports. I'm gonna hand all that to you. I'm not sure if you've gotten all that or not. You probably have, because I think everybody's trying to send everything by email.
I don't have this.
Okay, then I'll.
So I'll need to,
You'll have that.
Jernigan's,
You've got J's, but not the JP's. All right. And then we've got a report here from the sheriff's office about the fines and fees that were remitted to the treasurer. Do you have a copy of that?
Mm-hmm.
And then Larry Jernigan, Constable 1 report.
I do.
All right. Agri-Life Extension,
I do.
both of them.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then I've got a report here from the county clerk. And
I do have that one.
I'll bet you do. If you don't, I'm gonna have question why we don't have that. All right. So do you have any other reports that I didn't name just then?
I do have the tax office and the DMV.
Okay,
And that's it.
all right,
You don't have the appraisal district.
I do not.
Okay.
all right.
And I will separate these and get them back to each of
Thank
y'all.
you, thank you. All right, with that then, can we have a motion then to accept those reports just named? Pretty close. Who wants to make the second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign, and that carries.
Thank you.
Now then, Christina's back. Christina, do we need anything else on bills, claims, and accounts?
No, sir.
It's all done. Wonderful. All right, I believe that concludes everything that we have on the agenda. We have a motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion made, second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, same sign.